All right, so I'm pretty excited right now. I just got a new 25 horsepower Evinrude jet outboard. It's a little bit newer than the one I already have. It's a 1980. The one I already have is a 73. So this one has like CDI ignition. It's a little bit larger displacement. It's still 25 horsepower. It's like 25 pounds heavier, which is a disadvantage, but it has a 6-inch impeller, whereas the older one I have has a 5 3/4 inch impeller. So it seems to be able to pull like an extra 2 miles an hour compared to the other one I tested out yesterday on the lake. So it does about 20 miles an hour, but it's a little bit newer and probably more reliable. So I'm gonna give this one a try today. I just, I did a little bit of work to it after I got it. I just pretty much checked the clearance from the impeller to the liner, just hammered out the intake grate, made that nice and straight again. I did remove the carburetor and just make sure it wasn't gummed up, but it does run pretty good. I tested it in a barrel of water, and it also has the little telltale for the water, which the older one doesn't have, which I kind of like. It seems to work good. I mean, I don't think I can really do anything else. I checked the plugs. Seems good, and it ran well yesterday on the lake. I did have to strengthen the transom though, because it's an extra 25 pounds. It kind of wanted to like rip the transom off at full throttle when you hit some chops. So I did add these strengthening bars to the transom, similar to what my Solar Strela has. And hopefully that'll make it a little bit more rigid. I got the launch wheels mounted, which are a necessity for launching this into shallow rivers. And by the way, the whole goal of these projects, basically I want to be able to go up all of the major rivers in the east. So the Connecticut, the Delaware, the Housatonic. I want to go up all these rivers from the sea to the source, the same way that the early explorers would have seen them. And that's easy where the water is deeper, but once you get far inland, these rivers get really shallow, and it requires the use of a jet outboard, and also requires these inflatable boats so they can just glide over rocks and get through rapids and riffles, and they work really well. They can operate in like 4 inches of water. So I'm gonna go up the Connecticut River, and the goal of today is to run the Enfield Dam. So I want to try to shoot the dam. I did look at Google Earth using the like the Wayback Machine feature on it, so you could see older aerial photos to times when the water was extremely low like this, and sort of picked out my line. And it looks like the extreme right has a very nice little break in the dam that I can hopefully shoot right up. I don't know how much like riprap is under the water, if there's going to be something that I can snag the boat on, or if the outboard, if the intake's going to hit and damage it like happened to my other jet outboard, which actually cracked the intake. So there's a lot of unknowns, but I want to try to get past the dam. I don't think I'll be able to continue much farther past it, but I'll go as far as I can. I know there's some rapids up there, and I believe even like the Enfield Fire Department has a hovercraft in order to rescue people in this area of the river, because it is somewhat dangerous. This is really only my third time taking the Kaboat out, and never on rapids. So this has only been on the lake so far. So I'm pretty excited. Let's head up to Enfield. We got to a point where it's too shallow, and the shallowness isn't the problem. The problem is that there's so many weeds that the intake keeps picking up, and then we lose power. So we're gonna try to float it over to a section that's deeper. So this is only like a few inches here, which is fine. Like the boat could go through like 4 inches, but there's so much seaweed that is getting caught in the intake, and it's losing power. We gotta pull it to where it's deep enough, which I think is like right here, where it starts to get smooth. like just light enough to move. Any heavier, I wouldn't be able to do this. So another update that I made was I added these rollers to the bunks. So getting the Kaboat on will be a lot easier. These rollers will help me be able to winch it up, so that makes it loading it on dry land possible. You can't do this with it when it's just like the wood bunks. It won't roll.